Hi everybody. It's Friday afternoon. I just got back a little while ago from the gasterenterologist. I had to have a consultation first before I could have the colonoscopy this time because of the medical history that I've accumulated since the last colonoscopy about 2 years ago. So now my colonoscopy is going to be done on October 3rd. That's not looking forward to it. Procedure's always fine. It's the, as anyone that's had one knows, it's the preparation. Ugh, don't even want to think about it. But it has to be done to find out if, the ulcer is still there, if it's healed after I stop taking the Celebrex, if that's what's causing internal bleeding, which could be affecting my blood. So I have to get that done. She said to get that done first, and we'll worry about an endoscopy. I think it's endoscopy. Endoscopy? Maybe. Where they go down your throat and look in your stomach. I think I just watched a video recently where someone on YouTube had one for ulcers. Oh, Brian Nessel had one. So not fun, but just take it one step at a time and see where I go from there. Still feeling a little tired. Started taking a new iron supplement. Made my stomach upset even though it's not supposed to. So I'm going to try it again today. Have a few days off from work. Since we close for a week and spend most of the week getting ready for the new children that are coming in. Since when they start the year, of course, they're younger, so we have to readjust the room for things for them as we change as they get older. We change the toys, we change the way the room's set up for non-walkers, walkers, so on and so forth. I had to make a couple of adaptations because I'm going to have a little boy that has Down syndrome, so I wanted to make sure that, everything would be accessible for him. And said we're off until after Labor Day, then we go back. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm telling you, it's the only job in the world where you get to fall in love every year, over and over again. And it's a wonderful time in their life because it's when they're doing all their first things. And you get to witness them and share them with the parents. And I tell you, it's like one of the most rewarding jobs I've ever had. And I started out working in human resources. Well, I really started out working in retail. I wanted to be a buyer, but once I got into it, I decided I really didn't want to be on that end of it. So I got into retail merchandising because I like the artistic end of that, and then was offered a job as a personnel and operations manager. Even though I had no experience in personnel at the time, I did that for quite a few years. And then when the company I was working for was going to close, I left there and went to work for a very small store, and I did their buying and ordering. It was like a gift / stationery / card type store, and that was enjoyable. Again, I could walk there, so that was fine with me. And then they started to close. I see a pattern here. But then I took a little time off, and while I was off, my sister, who is a special education teacher, at the time was the director of a child care center for a church, and she needed people to do sub work for her. So I started to do that for a while, and really I was surprised because I was never considered myself a kid person, even though I have one son, but I really enjoyed it. So while I was in the process of looking for a new job, I happened to notice that there was an opening in a child care center, again, 3 blocks from my home. So went up, applied, got all the checks you need to work in child care. You need background checks, record checks, child abuse checks, physical. Got all that, everything worked out, so I started there, and that was almost 15 years ago. Who'd have thunk? Uh, took trainings and classes and so on so that I would be able to be considered a preschool teacher, and started working with the young infants about, let's see, they usually start about 8 or 9 months and up to almost 2 in the class that I have now. And I love it. A lot of people say, oh, how can you stand there crying? Well, it really doesn't bother me at all. And that's what I do now. And I have made I've met so many parents and children over the years and watched them grow, and it's just a very satisfying job. It doesn't pay anything. In fact, when I started, one of the things where the benefits were wonderful, but over the years, with the economy and such, we have really cut a lot of benefits. Now we have to pay for part of our medical. We have to. They took away. We used to have sick days and vacation time, and they made this big thing about how they were changing it, but we weren't losing anything. But we were. I was in personnel for a long time, so I could read between the lines. It was, economically something they had to do. So, as I said, they're not as good as they used to be, but at least I have a job, it's full-time, I have benefits, and I can walk to work, and I like it. I like the people I work with. My associate in my room it's great with the kids, a real good worker. We get along well, which is always a plus. I don't have much good to say about the current director. Well, she's not current, she's been there a while. That's a whole story in itself. Amazing that someone in that position is the way she is. But as I said, that's a whole other story. I don't think she does YouTube. Excuse me. My allergies ragweed is terrible around here. Let me see what else I can tell you about my work. That's about it as far as work. In my couple of first videos, I showed you going to work and so on, and the buildings I work in, and this was just a little bit about exactly what we do. I just finished a course, which is called a CDA course, which was 120 hours of study of 6 college credits, and then you are given an oral and a written test from a representative from Washington who was out this week. Did that. It wasn't too bad. And then we should hear in about 6 or 8 weeks, whether we will be issued the credential, which eventually in most states, child care, anyone that works in child care, in addition to, unless they have their degree in early childhood education, which my degree is not in early childhood education because this is not what I plan to do, then you have to have your CDA. And as I said, we're getting it now, because I think it's 2009 or 2011 where it's going to be required. So as a parent, maybe you should be checking this out when you're putting your children in child care to make sure that everyone that's employed there has the qualifications needed. Because I've come across quite a few people that shouldn't be in the business. And I can sympathize with parents when sometimes they're unhappy. But, I can go on and on about the whole thing, which I'll probably do in other videos. Well, thanks for watching. I'm going to maybe do some more videos today since I have the time, and I haven't really done any. And just want to say peace to everyone, and talk soon. Bye.